Alright, David Harry here, and this video is my YouTube channel update for the month of October in the year 2020. Now, first thing here is this video is being recorded on the 13th of October. It's probably going to go up today as well. Which, as I've done in the past sometimes, I've done my update video into the month as opposed to the beginning of the month. And unless you do it at the beginning of the month, you're not really telling people what's going to be going on during the rest of the month. Anyways, there's a good reason for that. I'll get this out the way with first, and then I'll get on to some conclusions to last month, and then what I'll be doing for the rest of this month. So basically, in a nutshell, I was a bit unwell this month. Nothing bad or nothing. I was just a bit run down because I'm a little petal. I am. I'm very delicate. Anyway, so I was a bit run down. So I had a few days kind of taken out of it, the month, as it were, just being in bed and stuff. Once again, just being a little petal I was. But also, I received one of those text messages requesting me to self-isolate for 14 days as well. I don't have the coronavirus. Well, I'm assuming I don't. It's like 99% sure I don't. I've actually done the test. I'll get the results for that tomorrow. But I'm fine. It's just that there'd been a situation which has meant that I've been asked to self-isolate and whatnot. So that's all good. So I'm getting on with that. However, what it has meant is that there's been this 7-day little bit of a gap in my content recently. I think I've done one video in the last 7 days. Now, that's mostly to do with the fact that most of the stuff I'd planned on doing for this month was all outdoors. And, you know, through being a little bit unwell and then being isolated, I can't do that. You know, so it's a bit boring. But what I'm going to do from here on in is for the rest of the month, or at least up to the 20th, I'm going to do as much stuff as I can indoors as well. So that's going to mean doing some like tutorial-y stuff, I think, you know, how-tos and stuff like that to do with some of the technology things like the pads and tablets and things like that. Maybe some stuff to do with microphones as well. There's a couple of microphone builds actually that I've got on the go as well. So I may even do something to do with where I'm up to with one particular build of this microphone that I'm doing, which is hopefully going to be a really cool microphone, this really dead neat stereo mic for, like, you know, using on camera and stuff like that. Yeah, so basically, just in a nutshell there, I've just been a little bit unwell, and then I've been requested to do 14 days isolation as well, of which, like I said, that will end on the 20th. So between now and the 20th, so what's that, 7 or 8 days, I'll try and just do as many videos as I can, just indoors, you know, some of me little informative pieces. Say little, they tend to be a little bit long, but yeah, I'll get on with that stuff anyways. Okay, so last month, right, as I'd already mentioned, like leading up to last month and during last month, was that I was going to mix up the content a bit, and I did. So I started doing a whole bunch of things to do with, say, like the tablets and the pads and a few other things which are not just to do with mics and cameras. Now, here's the real cool thing, but actually I'll mention the negative thing first. What it was, I immediately noticed like people unsubscribing because of some of the content that I was varying on the channel, which is a little bit sad because, you know, nobody wants to see people unsubscribe from the channel and stuff. But the upshot to this, though, is that I've actually had a lot more subscribers than those who had unsubscribed. So the net result is actually a gain on my channel. So for last month, I've actually had the most subscribers in 1 month, and it was just over 500. So 500 is massive amounts, you know, because like I'm still only a small channel. So 500 subscribers in 1 month is huge. I've had the most views of me content ever, and I've also had the most income ever as well in 1 month from like the YouTube income, which is like, you know, your Google AdSense thing and stuff like that. So all in all then, you know, last month was really, really good for me. However, it has meant that, you know, people have unsubscribed and stuff. Like I just said, I'm a little sorry to see that happen, but I can totally understand. If I'm now doing bits of content which people are not into, fair enough, you know, if people don't like it, that's cool, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, you can't always please everyone and stuff like that. But if, however, you know, there's a shift in a positive direction as well that comes along with that, which there has been, then for me, that's all good. And just to be clear about this, as I always am, my channel is for me to make money. This is my job, you know, and it has to start earning me proper money at some point. So last month is an indication that there are potentials for my channel to do well financially. Now, I still don't have a huge subscriber count and stuff like that, but I think I'm probably coming to terms with the fact that my channel will only ever kind of get so many subscribers maybe, and wherever, well, whatever that number may be, it's going to take some time for that to happen. My type of channel isn't based on like overnight success. It is a very long slog. But during whatever this time period is, the most important thing for me, which I've now realized, is the amount of video views that the channel gets. And I'm really happy with how that is progressing, because I do get a lot of views for the size of what my subscriber base is and stuff like that. Granted, I've got hundreds, maybe 500 videos on my channel, so somewhere along the line you would expect to get a bunch of views off them. But nonetheless, for me personally, I think I've kind of, you know, come to understand what my type of channel does. So I'm really happy with those results. So based on that, I will carry on just doing what I've been doing and mixing it up a bit. I mean, when I say mix it up a bit, it is all tech related stuff. It's not like I've said in the past, it's not like I'm suddenly doing videos about cakes and ice cream, which I would love to do because I love cakes and ice cream, but cakes and ice cream are just not going to mix well with microphones. I mean, you wouldn't put cake and ice cream in a microphone, but what I'm saying is it doesn't mix well with that type of content. So tech stuff compared to other things that you might be into, but generally my stuff is tech based. I'm still going to be leaning towards audio and video stuff, whether that be microphones and cameras or the use of them, how to edit with them and stuff like that. I'll always lean towards that, but, you know, spread it a bit. Now, that spreading of the content, I will do this up until the end of the year, see how that goes, and then in January kind of have a good look at, like, you know, how it has all happened during the last 3 to 4 months of this year. And then if I have to make a decision, then make a decision then. But as it happens right now, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and it would appear that, you know, there are other people who like what I'm doing as well. So I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. So yeah, last month, great month for me. I was really happy with it, and the results of it were way beyond what I thought they could be. So it's been really positive for me, and it's a good indication as to what could happen. Although to do this, I have to keep on top of stuff on a regular basis. And if my channel becomes one of those ones that just has to do loads of videos in order for it to work, then so be it. That's what it is. You know, some people only do like 2 videos a month and have a massive channel. And brilliant if that's the kind of channel that you've got. That's not me. It's not going to work for me doing that, so I have to do it a different way. Anyway, so getting into this month. Okay, so I think I've only put about 4 videos up so far. I've had this 1 week's worth of a block, and then up from here now to the 20th, it'll all have to be indoor stuff, except for I've managed to find some stuff that I thought, I had actually deleted it. I've managed to retrieve some stuff. I don't know if anyone watches these update videos of mine. I'd mentioned a couple of months back, like a complete and utter moron, I deleted a ton of data off a drive while I was trying to back it up. Well, as it happens, I've managed to retrieve bits of data now. So what it is, I may have enough for 2 or 3 videos about the ZV-1 and maybe 1 or 2 other things, maybe the new iPhone SE as well. and I may be able to put together enough out of those clips to make videos which will clearly demonstrate microphones with those cameras and stuff, or the camera on the iPhone and also the ZV-1. Now, they're not going to be things with like loads of cutaways and stuff. Not that I do that all the time. However, these particular videos did have a lot of cutaways for them, and they're definitely gone. So all the extra content went defo. But if I can manage to cut them up and get them into something where I can put it up and I can just say to people, listen, here's a video that I've done, and it's got this microphone with this camera or this microphone with this phone and stuff like that. The important thing with a video like that is it gives people the chance to listen to what it's all about, and that is the important thing with stuff like that. So hopefully I can botch together something that makes sense with that footage. And then obviously, like I just said, I'll have to just concentrate on indoor stuff for now up until the 20th. Now, after the 20th, what it is, and this is a little bit disappointing to be honest, because this month I wanted to be outdoors because, one, we've had decent weather considering the time of year, but we are now going to go into a period of time where outdoor stuff gets less and less because of the weather and stuff. But I bought myself one of these, which is the DJI can we see that? The DJI OM4, which is a gimbal for smartphones. So what I plan on doing is doing a bit more stuff again to do with vlogging on smartphones and things to do with microphones and stabilizers and stuff for smartphones and things like that. I'll get more into that as I'm doing it, and I'll explain that in more detail. But yes, I've had this for a few weeks. I still haven't done the unboxing. I may even do the unboxing for this during the next week. The idea was to do the unboxing, but then do a quick piece just to show before and after with one phone, with and without this, just like a minute's worth of like 2 30-second clips. I can't do that obviously until I'm able to go back outdoors again. But what I'll do, I may just do the unboxing and do a little bit of blurb about it and whatnot. Anyway, so that's that. Now weirdly, after I bought that, is it Goodson or Goodson, whoever they are? I don't even know how to pronounce this. Let me know if you know how the pronunciation is. I don't know if it's some kind of like Nordic pronunciation, like Goodson or something like that, or is it just Goodson? But the people who make Moser gimbals. Anyway, these people got in touch with me, right? And for the first time in, I couldn't tell you how many requests I've had to do reviews for stuff. I have to knock back usually twice a week. I have to knock back reviews because I'm being asked more and more to do reviews, but unfortunately they're all to do with Amazon people who just want me to do the reviews to put on Amazon, and I clearly don't do this. So I've explained that, and then people don't get back in touch, which is good because I don't want to do that stuff. It's not something that I do. However, for the first time since Rode got in touch with me to give me some kit, I've been given the Moser here. So this is the Mini MX. So, quick thank you as well to Goodson or Goodson, however it's pronounced. Thank you very much for considering such a small channel to give something decent to like this. And I definitely will be doing a bunch of things with this. So initially, at some point, there'll be an unboxing, as I will do with the OM4. And now that I have the OM4 and this, I will do some direct comparisons. Now, just remember, I'm more into like the straight, like vanilla use, as it were, of a gimbal. So as long as it's got a 3-axis like gimbal system like this or the DJI thing, what I will do is use them like that. So just straight stabilizers for walking with. They both have functions and features that I'll touch upon a little bit, but that's not my thing. See, to me, those things, they're not particularly useful for what I would do as far as doing, say, vlogging is concerned. So as long as I can recommend to people something where they can put a phone into a something and it gives them solid kind of stabilization for doing like walking shots and stuff like that, that's really what I'm looking for with these things. So yes, I will put this up against the OM4, but also I'll be doing a bunch of stuff with this on its own with different phones. Now, whether it's the Mini MX or it's the OM4 being used, I still have, right, and this might sound a bit mad, but I kept 2 of these things for a reason. I still have a Samsung S5, which is quite old, well, very old now. I've still got a Pixel Mark 1, and I also recently picked up off my mate Gaza the original iPhone SE. So what I'm going to do is arrange a videos showing like what these old phones are going to be like now for vlogging by comparison to what the modern phones or the modern counterparts are like. So like all three of those phones at some point are going to get used with both of those gimbals, give people an idea of stuff like that. So that's something that hopefully I can start this month. Now also I will be getting into the Hero stuff a bit more in depth. I think direct comparisons as in the 9 versus the 8. Now, I'm not going to go too much about the 9 right now, but I have to say, and I will do a video about it, but I have to say right now, I'm not at all impressed with the 9. The 8, I've learned to love it, and it is now my go-to vlogging camera. Obviously, when I use it in conjunction with its media mod, the one that I've adapted with my own built-in mic into it. So that adaptation for the microphone with that media mod, with the Hero 8, that has been my go-to vlogging system for some time now. And I've also used it for filming other stuff like, you know, secondary camera things and stuff like that. I think it's awesome. Yes, it's got its problems, and I have gone through all of those problems. But I think once you get used to those problems and you account for them, not that you should do, but the reality is if you use GoPros, you have to accept that there are software issues. The basic thing though to do with picture and audio is brilliant with this system. I was expecting the 9 to kind of blow me pants off and stuff like that, and for the 9 to be a marked difference over the 8. That just has not happened. So yeah, it's one of those. I'm more than disappointed, to be honest. But I will go into that in more detail in a video all on its own. I will still be doing stuff with the 9, and the reason for that is because despite the fact that I prefer the 8 over, and I think the 8 is a better buy, I think the 8 is a better camera. Despite that, despite what I think and what I may be able to show people, there are still going to be people who will want the 9 anyway for whatever reason. And that's the reason why I will still use the 9 and I will do stuff with it. Right now, though, I have put the display mod and the media mod for the 9. They are both on eBay at the moment. So any of the mic stuff, I mean, I don't know, they may not sell, I don't know. Maybe other people don't like them, I don't know. But the thing is, until maybe the firmware's been sorted for this so it can work with the original mic adapter, I might have to wait for some of the external mic stuff. Although, the time that I've got to stay indoors, me eBay will finish just slightly after it for this, or I might get out and do a couple of quick things with it with some mics with the media mod for it. However, I would imagine most of the audio stuff I will do with this will be done at the point where GoPro have updated the firmware so it can work with the original mic adapter again. Actually, saying that, there is a video I can do definitely indoors with this, and that is how to wire up a proper like 48 volt phantom powered condenser mic to this using an external little adapter or preamp and stuff like that. So I'll do that definitely before the media mod goes, so I've definitely will have done something with that. Anyway, so to round that off, yeah, the Hero 9, it's not that I hate it or anything, I'm just not in love with it. And I just don't believe it's been the best release that GoPro have done. The release itself as well just feels really weird. You know, there was no real... I don't know, I just don't believe there was a real release that's gone on here. It's as if they just shoved the camera out and said, yeah, this is available. And it just didn't feel like it was a full-on release. I don't know, maybe it's just, that's just me, but that was how I'd looked at this. Anyway, so that's all that GoPro-y stuff kind of dealt with there. I will be doing still a ton of stuff with them because, like I say, the Hero 8 is now my go-to vloggy thing, so that's awesome. But who knows, I might be able to come up with a phone and this, like, you know, gimbal combination with one of those two gimbals there, which could be great for vlogging, although I would still say the Hero 8, even inside that, just with a pistol grip in one pocket, that with its little media mod on in the other pocket. I go out with that stuff all the time, honestly, and it's no bother. Just put them together and go for it. I appreciate, you know, people say, well, you know, your phone's always on you, and that's right, do you know what I mean? But in order to get the best out of a phone, you do have to use a gimbal with them. I've still not come across any phone who's like, you know, built-in stabilization is anywhere near as good as a Hero 8. Now, I might be able to get better or just as good with a gimbal, but it's an extra bit of kit and all the rest of it. So I think for me personally, this probably is still going to be me go-to, only because it's unbelievable stabilization and stuff like that in such a small, tiny, compact package. Anyway, so that kind of ties all that off, I think, a little bit. Now, I will carry on doing stuff with the iPad thing and the S7 and stuff like that. There will be a bunch of videos. I think I'd mentioned this last month as well. There'll be a bunch of videos which may look like I've done the same video twice. It's only because I've got to do similar videos about both of them as individual things. And the reality of this is, as a for instance, how do I plug a studio microphone into an iPad Pro, for instance? I'm pointing on the table because it's just there. How do I plug a studio microphone into an iPad Pro? Well, the thing is, it's the exact same way you would do it with an S7 or a Tab S7, right? And it's, in fact, it's probably the same way you would do it with any pad or any tablet. But the simple fact is here is that somebody who has got an iPad Pro isn't going to type a search and ask how to do that on a Galaxy Tab S7, and vice versa. Galaxy Tab S7 owner isn't going to type how do you do this on an iPad. So that does mean I have to do two different videos for each, well, one for each one, but it's basically the same video. So yeah, you know, if people see me do something to do with a particular thing, like how to do this on an iPad, and then they see that I've done it with the S7, the reason is just because it's for two different people, do you know what I mean? Neither of which will be searching for the other's content, as it were. Because you got to remember, it's all well and good if somebody might have seen one of my videos before, but most of my videos get viewed like for the first time by people. Like, I don't have a ton of people that come back to my channel to watch all my videos. That doesn't really happen with my stuff. So most of the people who will have seen anything to do with the S7 or the iPad, they'll be first time viewers with my stuff, so they're not even going to be aware of the other things that I've done with this stuff. So yeah, that's why I have to do two of these things. Also, there's some of the bits of technology stuff as well that I'll be doing. I don't want to get into that right now because, unfortunately, I did try to order some stuff before the start of this month and missed out. Well, actually, yeah, that was the what's the name, the new GPUs as well by NVIDIA. I've been looking at trying to get both of them. I actually did try and get both. I even went up to the 1390 to get hold of that if I could, but that didn't happen. So I'm not going to mention too much about those things, but some interesting stuff coming up to do with computer builds and stuff specifically to do with gameplay, and then also proper productivity to do with video editing and things like that. I'll also be getting more into the stuff to do with video editing. Also things to do with video compression and things like that. Very specifically stuff to do with like compression and things for videos for YouTube and how you prepare stuff like that. Also the whole thing to do for gamers. Not so much streaming, although I might get into that as well, because it's basically the same technology as the straight encoding as what you would do for streaming, although there's certain considerations to do with bit rates and things like that which are different. But I'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff to do with the video tech side of stuff to do with compression, basic kind of 101 video stuff as well, you know, along the lines with all that. I'm not going to kind of start sitting down going into any great in-depth details, say to do with bit depth or chroma subsampling, only because I don't think if I do videos like that, I don't think many people will watch them, but I will introduce that type of stuff within the videos that I do. So you've got to remember, I've got a lot of experience with video post-production, and hopefully that's going to translate well for the game stuff or the general usage of, say, video encoding and things like that, whether that be for games or just for any type of content that people might be doing to upload to YouTube and stuff like that. Going to be doing a ton of experiments to do with upscaling to 8K as well. Yeah, so some of that 8K stuff that I'll be doing, yeah, it's going to be a bit barking mad, I suppose, but I do like to do testing and pushing things as far as possible. But in this instance, I'm really interested to see about upscaling to 8K. from both HD and 4K up to 8K, and then see how that might impact the picture qualities once they're uploaded to YouTube. And then once YouTube feeds back the 4K and the HD variants and stuff like that. So yeah, some things like that I'll be getting into. Now, a whole bunch of those things won't be happening this month. I've already lost a week of this month, and there are other things which are a little bit more important to get into and get out of the way for this month. But like I say, that stuff will kind of carry on through into next month and beyond. And in general, the whole computer thing as well, I will be doing more bits and pieces about computery things and stuff like that. Also going back to things like Chrome and Chrome OS, a little bit of Android stuff here and there and stuff like that. So basically, the same mixture of things that I've recently started doing from last month and maybe the end of the month before and things like that. Anyways, yes, I think that'll do us for this video. I've explained, I think, a whole bunch of stuff, and hopefully, you know, this stuff is kind of interest to people as well. And yes, there will be also videos coming up to do with results of certain things, and that'll be stuff that people will be aware of that I started a long time ago. Just quickly on that whole thing to do with how does like the amount of videos you upload, how does that kind of impact on, like, you know, your view counts and like your subscriber count. I was meant to do this like 6 months ago. Now what I've decided to do is, because I'm so close to the end of the year, and I've also got very interesting figures now as well, as far as like a small channel, how it develops across a year and how certain things impact or doesn't impact. In fact, it's not even a case that I can tell you what impacts a channel. I can just now show clear evidence of what happens. I can't say why for certain things, and a lot of it is still guesswork from my part. But what I think I'm going to do is wait now to the end of the year, because we're only like 2 months realistically to the end, really. And what I'm going to do is then I will do 2 or 3 videos, which are definitely all to do with like how a channel develops through the type of content or the amount of content, what the earnings are for a channel and stuff such as mine, a small channel. So you got to remember, at the beginning of the year, I think I was about 5,000 subscribers. And at the moment, I think I'm now, I might be closer to 9,000 now. So if it carries on like this, hopefully by the time I get to the end of the year, I'll have gone to hopefully 10,000 subscribers. So what I will definitely be able to do is show clear evidence and statistics as to the start of 1 year to the end of the year, to do with the subscriber counts and the journey through the year as far as certain statistics are concerned. And they will all be relatable to one another, to do with the amount of uploads, the amount of income generated, and the amount of views and stuff like that. So I could be in for doing some nice in-depth videos, as opposed to doing that thing where I was just going to say, well, look, you know, here's 1 month where I did 30 videos and then the following month I did 2. Do you know what I mean? Because in the long run, I've now learned that that isn't always as immediate as a result as you would think it would be. So like I say, a whole bunch of things I've learned during this year, as well as my channel has kind of picked up a little bit towards the end. Anyways, yeah, that definitely will do it. I don't know how long this one's been, but hopefully I'll have managed to hit a bunch of things all the way through this and disseminated as much information as I possibly could. Anyways, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.